There was once a time where fans absolutely would always come together for every Star Wars movie, period. There has never ever been a hated Star Wars movie until The Last Jedi. Yeah, apparently The Last Jedi has completely split the fandom. 50-50. You know, that's what everybody on YouTube's saying. If I had to take a wild guess, I would say a healthy 20 to 30% of people do not like The Last Jedi, and that's completely okay. But why? Why, on the hour, every hour, when I go on YouTube, do I see, is Kathleen Kennedy getting fired by Bob Iger? Is Roundhead Ryan? Is he gonna ever make a trilogy? They're firing him. We're gonna ruin his career. All because these men and women didn't like a movie geared at 12-year-olds. Let that sink in. These people want you to hate The Last Jedi because they did not like it. They want you to get on their wagon and literally ruin somebody's career. They want you to push people off of Twitter. They want you to harass people until Disney listens. Think about how nonsensical all of this is. Now, imagine if this happened to George Lucas when he made the prequels. Wait a second, it did. George Lucas stole his franchise due to fan backlash, quoting saying, "What's the point of making movies anymore when all you do is get criticized, people make fun of you and ridicule you for the things that you make? What is the point? If this is going to be what Star Wars is for the rest of the fandom, then I would say, start liking something new. Move on." Because the rest of us would like to talk about the things that we enjoy about Star Wars, including The Last Jedi, which obviously has some faults, but frankly, I have seen so much criticism towards this movie. It's like a fever dream of criticisms that literally kind of don't make sense anymore. If you use the term social justice warrior in any earnest way, I gotta be honest, I probably think you're a dumbass. I really do. In no way, shape, or form is there a SJW hidden agenda in the Kathleen Kennedy franchise right now. Nor would I imagine that the idea of having a couple women in a movie is somehow demeaning towards men. On top of that, for some reason, Holdo having purple hair, that's a point of contention? Are you fucking kidding me? Get lost. Now, if somebody had problems with a couple of plot holes, for example, how did Finn learn how to fly? He literally could not fly in the previous film. You know, the other thing I didn't exactly love until I saw it a few times was the joke in the beginning with Hux. I thought it was a bit miserable. I thought, why did they just put a Monty Python joke in the beginning of this movie? Fair criticism. Leave it at that. But to let one thing in the movie overshadow the rest of it is absurd. Rian Johnson's film is a 2.5-hour movie that should have been a novel. That is the overall problem, I would say, with this film. Another thing, Rose Tico. Lame character? Maybe. Didn't do much? Maybe. She seemed to, not piss off most of the people in the theaters I was at while they were cheering. Was she the next Jar Jar Binks? I mean, come on. Get real. Another thing that people have a problem with right now is that Snoke was killed off. I believe it was at the end of the second act. But yeah, you know, about the 1 hour, 40-minute mark, I think, is when he actually gets cut in half. You know, spoiler warning. You know, people were like, that's stupid. Why would the big bad get killed? To progress the characters, people would have to overcome what's in their way. Think about that. If you don't want to get sucked into the negative vortex that is Star Wars fandom right now, avoid those channels, because all you're going to get is a bunch of bullshit. Anyways, I could talk for hours about how dumb a lot of these criticisms are, or how stupid these channels are, because all they do is regurgitate each other's information over and over again. They're in the ultimate echo chamber of hate. And here we are, 9 months later, a bunch of people, majority white guys, on YouTube, with a bunch of Star Wars toys in the background, are calling for Kathleen Kennedy, the most prestigious executive producer of all time, and Rian Johnson, not necessarily the most well-known director, to literally get fucked and never get jobs again. They're asking these people to be fired. I just want you to consider this. These YouTube keyboard warriors are putting up such a stink. So, to all those YouTube channels out there that are collectively just saying fuck you to Star Wars every day, I hope that somehow you can recover from what Rian Johnson has done to you. I hope that there are group therapy sessions that all of you can attend, where you can talk about Roundhead Rian Johnson and Kathleen Kennedy and how they ruined everything that you hoped for in the Star Wars franchise. I guarantee there's a therapy session going on right now. Anyway, this is the ATAT chat signing off saying, if you don't like something, move the fuck on. Get over it. Let other people enjoy it. Don't be just another troll online, because that's what you look like. And don't pretend to be a fan by getting all the toys and wearing the hats and the t-shirts. You know, it just makes you look like a fool. So lastly, I'd like to say, here are a couple channels I highly recommend if you are an actual Star Wars fan. Star Wars Explained, Hello Greedo, Wayward Jedi, Mike Zero. Pay more attention to those guys than I would the other negative channels, because all they're going to do is bring it down, and bring everybody else down around them. And the point of Star Wars is to have fun. And as George Lucas said, this is a franchise geared to 12-year-olds. If a bunch of 30-year-old men aren't having it, I guess that's okay.